All right, can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me in the room? Everybody is so silent. Can you hear me? Shalom. Can everybody hear me? All right, got one person. Good. Hi, Melanin Nation, Water Sniper. Shalom. It's good to see everybody. Brian B, Lewis Cadwell, J Dog 88, First Harvest Network. Hi. Yep. King. I'm sorry. Q. Is that Kang Wolf Clan? Hello. Great. I'm glad everybody can hear me. All right. Yeah, we do. It's nice to kind of get together and just kind of relax and shoot the breeze. It's been so much going on as far as my channel is concerned. I've taken a beating this week, but I'm not going to let it get to me, family, because if I do, then, they would have won at silencing me, and I'm not going to let them win. I'm just not. We have bigger fish to fry than to think about our own hurt feelings. No matter how I feel, our oppression is not over. So as long as our oppression is not over, the fight is not over. So I got to stay in the fight and put my sore feelings aside. Love you too. And just keep moving on, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I can do. you know um I can take a defeatist attitude, but I'm not about that. And I don't want any of you to think that I've abandoned you, because I'm not. I'm still here, and I'm going to be here no matter what. I will be contacting the Columbia Boiler Company tomorrow. Are you near that place, Silence? Are you near there? Oh, I unhide myself. That's how you probably got my page back. I had to hide my page because it was about to be attacked. I was getting ready to get a flag attacked by the enemy. Oh, no, you're in Austin. Okay. Hi, Mickey Bricks, William James. Yeah, I heard he was in the UK. I hope he's doing well. That's a terrible thing uh, to happen to anyone, regardless to who did it. It's a terrible thing that he went out in public, and that's the kind of thing that happened. So, yeah. I also heard they were devils. Yep, I heard the same thing, Cosmic. There's been some crazy things going on with my account. And I had found out about a post that was on the Radical God, Home Goddess, where someone said I went in there and put they were black guys. I would never have done that. And that actually happened at the same time that my subscribers were removed. Personally, I think it was an inside YouTube job. I really do, because my account, number one, was still in a state where it was not visible for anyone to see. So, so I don't know. I just think it was an inside job. Somebody at YouTube did it, one of the employees. Because if my account was not visible, who else would have had access to it to do something like that? So, I had some weird post show up on the Radical Home Goddess channel, and at the same time, my subs were wiped out. So go figure, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm not going to worry about it. All of my videos are not visible at this time, but they will be visible in the next coming week. Everything will be visible again. Yeah, it is fishy, but like I said, I had everything still hiding at that time when that post came through to you and my subs were wiped out. So it's not like, that's why I believe it was an inside job. It had to be somebody within YouTube that did that. But that's okay. you know, I gotta keep going. I just can't let those things get to me. Was I upset? Absolutely. I was. Not to go, I call Missouri misery. Yeah, I won't be going to misery anytime soon. A water sniper. Right, right. No. I didn't think when I heard about that, I did not think it was black guys at all. But when I went to your channel and saw what the commotion was about, I saw, that thing, oh, it was black guys and a little broken heart. No, that was not me. That was an insider from YouTube. Because, like I said, my channel was still hidden. There was no way, there was no way I could have done that. I couldn't even post. If I tried to post, it would have gave me a pop-up saying that I had to unhide myself before I could do a post. That was done when my account was still hidden. So that had to be an inside job. But I'm sorry that it caused such an uproar, but I hope that we can all get past what happened. I did see Angel's video yesterday where he talked about coming to your channel and seeing, the post in there. And, it, the thing is, we all got to be careful about making any kind of accusations without coming to each other's first to see whether something is legitimate or not, because there's a lot of games being played out here. We're all being played, ladies and gentlemen. All of us are being played. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that you can see the live stream now. Yeah, yeah, it is. YouTube is ran by some shady people. So, what do you expect? We have to, it comes down to what we have to live by in our everyday life, especially if there's people different from us. Trust no one, especially anybody outside of our nation. Trust no one. And that's the attitude we're going to have to take. But like I said, the Radical Home Goddess, I'm talking to you specifically. Please don't get discouraged by what happened yesterday. I understand your reaction about kind of stepping away, but I just want you to know we really need you in this fight with the rest of us, because until our oppression is over, we're in this fight, whether things happen or not. And I just want you to reconsider stepping away. We all have to we got to understand, in this battle, we're all going to get knocked down, but we have to get up and keep fighting. And I just don't want you to get discouraged. You had a bad day. I had a bad week. You had a bad day, but let's try to move forward. We can't afford to lose any voices in this fight, and we can't lose yours. We can't lose you. So I understand what happened, but we can't lose your voice. Um, some of the other things that I also wanted to talk about was I just didn't want anyone to lose sight, because I did see your messages out there. Some of you, I can't see your channel. Oh, I think they got you. And you know what was the ironic part? Um, during the time that I had my channels hidden, the trolls were actually emailing me, y'all. And some of them were coming to me in blackface saying, I noticed your channel's not there. Then when I would click into the account, it would be a black avatar. But when I would click into their account, um, everything on their channel would be white. So I knew it was a troll. So the trolls were trying me through my email as well as some of the things that you might not have seen behind the scenes. And also a couple of trolls got into the black spot and tried to friend me, but I was able to catch on to what was going on. So they did not get me at all, but they did make the attempts. This morning, when I posted a new video, one actually was shocked. He was astonished. He was like, wait a minute, I thought this channel was gone. How could you still be here? I thought it was hilarious. So I didn't respond. I just blocked them, and I deleted their comment. So I think they're kind of a butt sore that they didn't get me, like they got a few other people. Yeah, please, Queen, don't disappear on us. Don't disappear. I mean, our battle is real. You know, I mean, I'm sorry for what happened to Angel. I really am. And I hope he recovers and all is well. But this battle is still not over. We got to be in it to win it at this point. Yeah, I love you too. And everybody's not going to all like us. That's just the way it is. We just can't let the ones that don't like us kind of overshadow everything else. They just can't. I am hiding within them as I stream in. Yeah, that's a smart thing to do, silence. It really is. I had a few people, and I wasn't even aware of this. It kind of brightened my day. I had a few people come to me and said, I kept a lot of your videos. And they said, if you don't want to come back out, I will mirror your videos and put them out, under a different account. And that's cool. I didn't realize so many people had my videos. That was very nice. Somebody had reached out to me and said, I kept almost all of your videos and I'll put them back out there. So that was nice to know, that people tried to reach out to me, after I had to hide my channel. And I just had to hide it at that moment because that's when the attack was occurring on the Black channels. And I know our elder, Rashawn DeLay, he was hit. So, I just want you to know, we're all going to have good days. We're going to have bad days. Believe me, I had a bad week. So radical home goddess, no, I understand, but You got to get back in the fight because this fight is not over. Yeah, J Dog, I understand because I have flagged a few of them out there myself. Thank you, Miss Candace. Thank you, Lady Soul. I just did it because I realized if they couldn't find me, they couldn't flag me. So I was able to figure that one out. And the only thing is, I didn't know right offhand the procedure and hiding the video, but I was able to find the instructions online. And then once I found the instructions, I went ahead and hid my channels. And right now, my channel is out there. You will not be able to like or dislike for a while, because they're still trying to flag me down. So I do have that disabled temporarily. Okay. In the coming weeks, I will bring that back and you'll be able to like the channel or dislike the channel. Yeah, it is sad, but Lala, look at it this way. We were never free. So this is what we have to deal with out here, but it does not mean that the enemy always have the upper hand. We have to take that away from them whenever we can. I could sit there and let my channel stay up and let them just attack me and take it down, or I could look, I could protect myself and say, you know what? I'm not going to make, if I got to go down, I'm not going to make it easy for them. So they're going to have a run for their money to take me down. It won't be easy. T Waters, no, don't have withdrawals. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to disappear like that. Just know that that's why I have everything over on the Black Spot as well. So you can watch my videos over there. If you can't see them on YouTube, you will see them over on the Black Spot. Yeah, I saw J Dog. They are picking a bunch of scrubs and doing everything they can just so they don't have to hire Colin Kaepernick. But they're bringing on such substandard guys. It really would make sense to just bring them back. But the way I see it, they're going to lose no matter what. If they bring Colin Kaepernick back, you got your white audience that got a problem with that, and then you got the black audience that got a problem if they don't bring them back. So right now the NFL is pretty screwed. They're in a win if you do and damn if you do, damn if you don't situation. That's their problem. Thank you, Greco Perry. Thank you. Yeah, that's true. Um, B. Marquise, you're right. Freedom of speech only if you're willing to sit and tell lies, or make the enemy look good and make your people look bad. Which I'm not about that. So you know what? They can do whatever they want, but my voice will still be there. Yes, Daryl does know. There were not just myself, but other people reporting, strange individuals and accounts cropping up on the Black Spot. And he's real good about getting those people off. They may get in periodically, but he does a great job in getting them out, especially if you point them out to Daryl, that you notice a troll in the black spot. He'll usually go after those accounts and get them out. They've been trying to get into the black spot for 2 years now, so it's no shock that they're still trying. They think they have the right to invade our space, and they haven't learned yet that we don't all want them in our space. Yeah, well, they are, but right now, I think the NFL is full of crap. Some of them are talking about bringing him back, and then others won't even consider it. So ultimately, I think they're going to end up making him some kind of offer. Now, whether Kaepernick take it or not, that's really up to him. But from the tweet, you like the things he put out on Twitter, he doesn't really seem to be that phased by it. Okay, well, if you're set up on Black Spot, make sure you look for my um, account out there. If you friend me, I'll friend you back. Yeah, Xerxes 666. Yeah, there's a lot of interracial commercial, even ads and billboards and everything up around the country right now. And it's because they are a dying race. They Here's the big problem with them. They are so recessive that anyone, greetings Cap, anyone can really wash away their genes. I mean, even if you notice, even when they have children with Asians, the children look almost like a full Asian. You know, I mean, it doesn't matter who they have children with. It literally washes out their genes. So them going interracial is really stupid because eventually our genes are just so powerful, it pretty much overtakes theirs. So they can keep trying to play the interracial game all they want. It's really not going to work out so well for them. Right. I think so too. I love haters. You know what else I also think it is? I think it is the white woman's way of sticking it to the black woman, saying, hey, look, I got your man. I really think a lot of it is that too. I can get your man. Um, and those men and women that want to procreate with them, they can do whatever they want. I don't agree with it. I don't believe we should be procreating with a people that have showed so much hate and disdain, and they're willing to murder us and murder our children. I just don't see the logic behind being around them. They have done so much harm to us for centuries. Why would you want love from such a devilish person, a devilish group? I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. It just tells me um, we have a lot of people with some serious issues, and I don't know. I just don't think there's a way to fix that. We just can't fix the people that want to go in that direction. It's nothing we can do. Yeah, we're going to have, unfortunately, Melanation, we're gonna have coons all the way down to our last breath, unfortunately. Right, most black men do marry black women, but in fact, the article that I did the other day shows that black men actually date outside of their race less than any other man. Hispanics and white men and Asians actually date more outside of their race than black men do. But if you look at what the media does and how they advertise it, they make it seem like the black man is doing it more than anyone else, and that's false. Black men are doing it in single digits compared to men and women of other races. So it's really another lie that they're putting in front of us. No, it's okay. I just don't understand, but I guess that's just not my mindset. So it's not meant for me to understand why so many of our people want to date and marry the enemy. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It is a big deception. Joseph Elliott, it is. It's a big deception. They're trying to make us see greatness in a bunch of devilish people. I just that's really what the media has been doing all along. These people, they have done so many wicked things, but at the same time, they are always trying to broadcast their greatness to everyone. And I really, seriously, I don't see no greatness in any of them. Yeah, and plus they age too damn fast. The when they start aging, man, they start looking. They don't even look human anymore when they start getting elderly. They don't even look like a person at all. They look like an animal. Hi, Simone. The movie about. Oh, wow. I didn't see that one. CK. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard about that movie, but I wouldn't put nothing past it. There's so many interracial shows and movies out now. I'm not surprised to hear that. Yeah, I say they age like bananas. Yeah, Greco Perry, they haven't changed their evil ways. That's why I don't understand why so many of our people want to be with them. They have not changed anything over the centuries at all. Well, Ivanka has had a lot of surgery on her face. She doesn't look anything like she did before. And you can actually Google her before all of the surgery. She had a very pudgy looking face. And you can tell she went under the knife to kind of sharpen her features a little more because before her surgery, she looked very much like her father. very much like him. She's another plastic surgery queen, just like, Melania. Go look at Melania's before picture. You wouldn't even think it was the same person at all. Trump just likes a lot of women that had a lot of work done on themselves. That's the kind of women he seems to like. If they had a lot of things done to their face and breasts and butt, that's the kind of women he likes. One that had a lot of surgery done, artificial looking women. Yeah, I mean, they age so poorly, it really doesn't matter what kind of money they got. You go look at some of these millionaires and they still look horrible when they age. It doesn't keep them from aging poorly. Yeah, well, none of them look normal. You know, and the thing is, just like CK said, it's like a status symbol. It's just like all of your actors and actresses and singers, they've all had work done. It's almost like it's not normal if you don't get it done. No, you won't. John Moore, you know why? Because they don't last that long. The average in a racial relationship doesn't go beyond 10 years. They usually fail. And this is why you do not see elderly interracial couples out here. Usually, when you run into an elderly couple, it's either to a black man and woman, or you'll see a white man and woman, or you'll see an Asian couple that are elderly, but you never, hardly ever see a white elder woman with a black elder man, and they've been married for 30, 40 years. They don't last that long. And in fact, a black man with a white woman, that relationship fails more than most of the other interracial relationships. But people keep trying to do it anyway. Yeah, that Bernie tree 6 is something else. I guess being in a trailer park for too long. I don't know. I don't know what her problem is, but don't worry, she'll be in for a rude awakening. You know what, B, Marquise? I heard that my whole life. Oh, they're not all bad. But here's the problem with that: the good ones don't do anything to make a difference. They're not doing the ones that claim they're good. What are they doing about racism? Nothing. Are they trying to stop the bad ones among them? No. So, as far as I'm concerned, they're all bad. It's not like you see the good ones actively trying to stamp out racism and put in check the ones that are racist among them. They don't do squat. So why should I see them as good? What are they doing? Nothing. Now, Malcolm X even said, who was it? Was it Malcolm X? He said there, no, it was Muhammad, Khalid Muhammad. He said there are bad white people and worse white people. He said those are the only two that's out here. And I tend to agree with him. The problem with Bernie Tree is, personally, I think she's just playing up to a white audience. And the reason why she's playing up to a white audience, and I, I could be wrong. Number one, when you look at somebody like Tommy Sotomayor, now I don't know if this is true or not, but there are people that claim he has made millions online trashing his own people. Coonan can roll in a lot of money, okay? And she may be seeing that and say, hell, I'll turn on my own people and do that online too. See, that's the thing. The Coons are the ones making the big cash. Her, I don't know. I just think her whole demeanor is weird. She seems strange, almost like one of them strange black people that you would know but kind of stay away from. That's how she comes off. I wouldn't be surprised, Water Sniper, if she is. I would not be surprised. From the way she's talking, that's not far-fetched. But if you notice, guys, you notice the Coons are far worse from even years ago. Because, I mean, just think about it now. You got your Bernie Tree 66, and you see how hard she coons. We already know about Tommy. We've known about him for a long time. Then you have your the more famous coons. And it seems like they all go hard in the defense of their white partners, or their white friends, like your Charles Barkley and what's that other guy, that sheriff, David Clark. They all seem very extreme in their hate. Everything, everything. Well, Larry Elder has been out of his mind for many years, William James. I'm not surprised that he justified that. I was done with him years ago. I don't even consider. Hi, M. Misner Park. Um, I don't even consider anything he says as legitimate. I mean, I just completely disregard Larry Elder. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how much he makes, but as far as I'm concerned, silence. If he's making a nickel, he's making too much money at our expense. Well, many of them all have white partners too, with the exception of Ben Carson. The rest of them all got white women. Yeah, I saw Tariq's. I think he's Tariq Radio now. His new YouTube channel is Tariq Radio, I believe. I saw it out there. Oh, okay, silence. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, you're right. Watch him move. Yeah, he does sell himself cheap. Boy, that's the least to say about him. I mean, he sell himself out for nothing. But what turned me off about him when I first came to YouTube, his channel, TS's channel, kept coming up in my feed, and I couldn't get rid of it. I didn't want him coming up in my feed, but it kept coming up for nearly 2 years when I first started coming onto YouTube. Tommy's channel kept coming into my feed. And I'm like, why? Why can't I? I didn't request his video, but it is almost like they force it on you when you first come onto YouTube. I was through when I heard him talking about dark skinned women. And I was like, does Tommy own any mirrors? Does he have a mirror in his house? So, but then what really got me is when I saw his little girl. I mean, she was a cute little girl, dark skin. How are you going to bash dark skinned women and your ass got a dark skinned daughter? I mean, I was too through. I didn't want to hear nothing else from him from that point on. Hi, Leonard. I just don't see how you can do that. That's just like me bashing males and I got a son. I would never bash a man. I got a son. I mean, that would be stupid. How can I hate on men and I'm raising a son? That doesn't make any sense. When I saw his little girl and then I thought about all the stuff that he was saying, I was like, this man got to be so mentally jacked up. It ain't even funny. But I guess in his head, what he's saying does not apply to his family, but he doesn't realize it really does. Well, first of all, it is stupid because he didn't come out the womb of a white woman. This man came out. Hi, Dario. Oh, Dario. I don't know if you saw my message. I reached out to you because the radical home goddess keeps getting booted out of the black spot and she's not able to get back in. So, I left you a message, but I'm not sure if you got it or not. She's on here. I think she's still on here. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Tommy used to take showers with his daughter. Not sure. I'm not sure. I don't think I want to know about that. Okay, then it might be a situation where what she needs to clear out her cash. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any problems, but see, I naturally clear out my cash like every few weeks. I did that even before I was on the black spot. So I never had any issue with getting on. Okay, we were just talking about you, Queen. I told Dario, who's on here with us, that you were having a problem getting you were getting booted out of the black spot. Okay. Yeah, well, I wish him the best, but I would prefer not to interact with him and his, I don't know, what do you call his supporters? And they can just keep it moving. Do I enjoy eating McDonald's? I don't go very often. I mean, the last time I went in there, I got something to drink. That was it. The person I was with at McDonald's, they got something to eat. I'm not a big McDonald's person because I don't believe their stuff is healthy. No, far as I know, Black Spot is not was not put up with Caucasian money. I have not heard that, but Dario's on here, so he could pretty much answer that. But that is one thing I did not hear about the black spot, and I don't believe Caucasian money is involved at all. I wish I could get. Yeah, I hear you. Well, I think that what are your thoughts on totally separating from white people? Is it possible? It is. Do I think it's possible? Yes. I think that we can keep to ourselves a lot more. And you see other groups doing this. You don't see Arabs and Asians heavily interacting with them. They usually pretty much keep to themselves. And if it's possible for other groups to do it, yes, it's possible for us to do it. But here's the problem. I think that a lot of our people won't separate because they don't believe it's possible, or they believe they're going to lose something if we unite together and leave out the Caucasians. They think that there's something to lose in it, and really there isn't. Tell me, Dish Trayvon, really? See, I don't listen to him. So anything I hear about him is usually through other people. But no, I was not aware that he trashed Trayvon. Yeah, I know, Daryl, because I'm still trying to reach my $1,000. I mean, I did go up quite a bit yesterday with the Black Spot fundraiser, but I'm still not where I want to be. So that's okay. I'm not going to get discouraged. I'm going to keep pushing until I reach my goal. Yeah, very true. Very true. They do they wanna come in after you killed yourself trying to get everything together. Some people have already learned, NLP, video, file 99. You can actually take some classes on it online or even just watch a few of the videos. You can pretty much figure out how it works. At the rate they're dying from drugs, they'll be out of the way in no time. They are going fast. They are going fast. Just like I told you, and I put a video out, it was like a week ago. They're now up to 142 deaths per day. They are going fast. I know it may seem like they're not on the surface, but they really are. Thank you, Silence. Yeah, 142 deaths from drugs per day. That's what they're experiencing now. And you can count the 121 a day for suicides. They're going fast. That's why I laugh when they want to come and talk about black on black crime. Are you kidding me? Do you see how many of your people are dying every day? You want to talk about something that's not affecting your life? Yes, everything's well, Roger. Thank you. Yeah, from drug deaths, they are dying 142 a day. Now, Lord Mall, just add the suicides that are 121 a day to that amount. I'm telling you, they're going fast. Well, they look, you know what, Silence, they just might, especially if they can't find a lot of people that can pass the drug test. you, you may be a shoe in. Yeah, I mean, and you know what? And that they could be downplaying the 142 because they're not about telling the truth. So that 142 may be a lowball number. That's very true. I was reading an article. This was like maybe April, and it was saying over 200 million people in America at one time had opioids prescribed to them. That's a lot of damn people. 200 million. And right now, over 90 million people in America are abusing the drug. 90 million. Now, you think about that. That's like a whole nation of people right there, 90 million. And the thing is, even when they recover, and let's say they get off the drug, I notice one thing, even the ones that bounce back and get off of the drugs, they still tend to die early. They end up having some kind of heart problem or um, some type of issue with a brain aneurysm. All kinds of weird things happen to them when Even when they get off the drug, it seems like it catches up to them at a certain age and they still end up dying young. 90 million have been abusing opioids in this country. Yeah, and they actually give that to cancer patients. My father had cancer of the pancreas when he was living, and he was on oxycodone. So they gave him opioids. He was taking them, in the final stages of his life, but the doctors gave it to him all the time. Yeah, Queen, I was on opioids from a surgery that I had. It must have been 2006. And when I got done with the opioids, I started feeling, the cold sweat, some of the side effects from withdrawing from it. I took the rest of my bottle and I flushed them down the toilet. I just threw them in the toilet and just flushed them. I knew I didn't want them anymore. You know what, John Moore? I don't believe that. I don't believe they're gonna try. I think many of the swirlers will just go with the white, with the white people. I think very few will come with their white partner over to the black community. The video, okay. But you know what, Lala, you bring a very good point. We were always, if you look at the history of our people going back to our ancestors, we were always at our best when we were segregated because we knew we could not interact but so much with Caucasians back then. So, and we had to depend on each other. But we always did exceptionally well when we were depending on each other. Why do you think your 68 towns had to be burnt down because they were just doing a bit too well? Yeah, they will give it to you for virtually everything. I found out they even give people opioids when they had depression. So if you went to your doctor and say you were oppressed, they gave you opioids. Hi, Truth and Justice. Who 2,367 channels? Yeah, you're right, Daryl. If they didn't destroy those towns because we were outperforming them so badly, they had to come together with mobs and take the towns out because they were doing way better than they were. But that's the history they will never tell you about. Right, Roger Spice. That's very correct. But that's why I don't understand why our people are so scared to take a chance on their own people and separate because our history shows we always excelled when we were separated from them. Always. Can he burn out faster? Well, Lala, unfortunately, they're burning out fast, but it's a process like anything else. Over time, you will notice it. We all will. You're going to go out one day and hardly see them around. And that's exactly what's going to happen. If you can't replace the population that has died out, you're pretty much doomed. I mean, and that's why it makes me laugh that they're still focusing on us and talking about black on black crime, a bunch of things that don't matter, but that's what they want to focus on. It makes no sense. Well, CK, you may get your wish because I tell you what, the sun is also trying to get their asses the hell out of here too. I notice it too, DJ Gambler. When I go out, I do not see them like I did even 10 years ago in public. I don't. And where I live, it's pretty integrated. But when I go out, I do not see them like I did even back in 2007. It is a big difference now. They are plagues, CK. They are. That's exactly what this drug, what they label as a drug epidemic is. It's a plague. And it's something, and a lot of our people don't realize it's something that's been on them now for going on 20 years. It's been 20 years. Now, let me tell you, the crack epidemic didn't even last 20 years. Okay. But this is going strong. And it started back in the 90s, and we're what, 2017? And they're not even coming close to ending it. Yeah, the sun is kicking their behinds. That is so true, Daryl. The sun is frying them. And there's a heat wave over in Europe right now. I don't know if any of you heard about it in the news. There's a heat wave going on, and it's supposed to be going on at least for another week. Well, a lot of diseases are returning on them. Like HIV is big in the rural areas where they're sharing needles the most. And they're having a lot of problems with hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is rising in the rural area. Not to mention the fact that cancer, they're dying fastest in the country in the rural areas from cancer. And it doesn't matter what type of cancer it is, they're dying faster than anyone else. Yeah, they're calling the heat wave Lucifer of all things. I heard about that. The new heat wave over in Europe is named Lucifer. The Don N, you make a very good point. Do you know, I was reading, it's a requirement in many schools now to have Narcan because so many of the students are coming to school strung out. So they have to now have Narcan in the nurse's office and a lot of the schools. Well, see, Miss Red, you make a good point because, see, they try to psychologically make us believe we need them, but it's actually the other way around. They need us. And see, that's why I keep trying to make a point of telling you to separate. You will really see this once we are separated from them. They psychologically make us believe we need them. I promise you, Black people, if we separate from them, you're going to see them fall before we fall because it is them that need us, not the other way around. But see, our people don't believe that, but they need us. Okay. All you got to do is start thinking about the entire history in this country. Who needed the slave? Who needed the slave? That's the same people that will fall without you. Lucifer versus Lucifer, huh, Kevin? I guess that's true. Well, yeah, you can. One true self. That's very true. If you ever notice, every time we talk about separating, you notice how they get nervous and start fighting us on it. Oh, why you want to do that? Oh, you're trying to accept this is why we're separating. You're trying to separate everybody. They have been separating everybody for centuries, but the moment we start talking about separation, all of a sudden it's a problem. Are you kidding me? I mean, who put up the white only signs and made the miscegenation laws and all that stuff in America? That was not to separate. Oh, this world is heating up. Video files 99. You can tell this world is heating up fast. And they're putting all those chemtrails up there, hoping they can block the sun out, and they're still failing. Right. They are afraid of an economic separation. And that's true. And this is why we need to be giving our money to the black spot and not to any of their websites. Yeah, all of the planets are heating up. That's correct, Ariel. It's just getting warm. Even I can tell. I'm here in New Jersey, but even I can tell things are definitely getting warmer on the earth. Yeah. But like I said, if we separate, you are going to see who's going to fall fast. They're going to fall before us. As soon as we separate, you will see it. But for years and years and years, they try to act like they don't need us, but they really do. Yeah, it didn't used to really get hot here in Texas until a month ago, but now, yeah, I tell you what, here in New Jersey, especially in July, we had like several days in a row in the 90s. And after about 2, 3 days, you go out in public and you will see how red they are. After about a few days, go out in public. I'm telling you, if you go through a heat wave, just wait about a couple of days and go out in public and you'll see red devils everywhere. Because the sunscreen is totally ineffective when it gets really hot. It doesn't even work. Mhm. Oh, yeah, in fact, I was talking to one of my cousins, and she told me that she sees a lot of white panhandlers out here. They just panhandling for their drug money. Yeah, well, that's not gonna do any good, T. Waters. Yeah, I read about how they got all those underground bunkers, um, where they're ready to run if anything happens on Earth, but, it's not gonna save them. You're right, Miss Red, it is. The sunscreen I did a video, maybe like 2, 3 weeks ago, where it said most sunscreens on the shelf are toxic. Most of them are toxic. So if they're toxic and you're going out into the sun with something toxic on your skin, no wonder why the ones that wear it are the ones that end up with the most skin cancers. That's why I don't agree when they try to push that black people should wear sunscreen. Why should we wear sunscreen when we're watching them wear sunscreen and they're still getting skin cancer? That wouldn't make sense. Why would we need it? We're already melanated. Yeah, there you see a lot of them out panhandling now, like you never seen before. And those are usually your junkies. Mhm. Years ago, I would see every now and then I would see one out there, and it was mostly black people doing it. Not anymore. You go out there, it is now white folks out there panhandling and begging for money. Thank you, DJ. Thank you. Yeah, most of them are. Most of them are white. That is the truth. Even the Bible prophesies in the last days, everybody will go back to their own group. And they're going to go back to around where they came from. That's why they're having so many problems physically, because they're out of their natural habitat. And their natural habitat is the cave. Ever since they start venturing out in the world, that's when they start running into all these physical problems, because it was not intended for them to be in the sun like that. I was watching a video, Simone, and it said in Canada, people associate Canada with whiteness when it really should not be seen that way. That there's bigger ethnic groups up in Canada than the white people there. But, that's the same way here in the United States. Really, Lord Maul? They're diving in dumpsters? Now, I haven't seen that. Now, I know I've seen the panhandling, but I never seen them go in dumpsters. Wow. Fit Fierce and Over 50. You know what? They always did that. It said, they would always set up a trap and a snare, and they would end up getting caught up in their own trap. And that always happened. Always happened. I don't know. I got to see this stuff y'all talking about. Dumpster diving? I have not seen that. I got to be more, I guess, aware of my surroundings. I have never seen them dumpster dive, but I'm not, hey, I believe you. I believe you. I haven't seen that around here yet. They'll starve screwing with you. They'll starve screwing with you, Daryl. I hear you. America great again. You know what? They can't make anything great again. There's no greatness in them. How are they going to make a country great that never was great? Well, I know in Misner Park around here, they break into people's homes like the junkies. They'll break in your home and then they try to steal anything valuable that they can take to a pawn shop. And then what they do is they'll take whatever item they can find of value in your home, take it to a pawn shop, and that's how they get their drug money. What, Lewis Cadwell? They try. Your child's school told your parents about black children don't need sunscreen. My mother never put one drop of sunscreen on me when I was growing up, and I never burned. I don't know. I, I don't think things have changed that much for black people. Yeah, there's a lot of carjacking. A lot of these white people are carjacking too. That's very true. Look, they're desperate for the drug. They got to get over to the drug dealer with money. Man, I tell you what, if I see one dumpster diving, I am taking a picture of that. I'm whipping out the phone and I'm filming the whole thing. I'm taking pictures and everything. I'm serious. I ain't seen it, but if I do, you can best believe I ain't leaving without taking my pictures and getting my camera out and turning the video cam on. Oh man. Yeah, next time you see them dumpster diving, tell them to get a job. That's what you do. Tell them to get a job. Get out of the dumpster and get a job. No, I didn't hear about that I Hate Haters, but you know what? I heard about the Dunkin' Donuts one where, this guy went into Dunkin' Donuts with his son, and he went in the bathroom and overdosed and left his son in Dunkin' Donuts while he was in the bathroom all slumped over and overdosed. I mean, they don't care. They don't even care if they screw their own kids over while they're high. Dumpster diving is like Disneyland. Oh man, I'm telling y'all, if I see some dumpster diving going on around me, you can best believe I'm taking pictures and videos and I'll be online with it. Now, dumpster diving, Lewis Cadwell? Wow. Y'all getting all the action because I'm not seeing nothing like that here. Yeah, so, Lord Maul, some guy went into Dunkin' Donuts with his son, left his son, I guess, sitting at one of the tables and went in the bathroom and overdosed. They don't even care. They'll stick a needle in their arm while they're driving. That's why there's so many crashes going on in the US now with all the drug driving. That's the big reason why they're getting high behind the wheel while they're driving. Well, Donald Trump is just got passed down money from his pimping forefathers. Wasn't it? Wasn't it his grandfather or great grandfather that was a pimp? Pimp money. Yeah, I'm going to check it out. See if I can find dumpster diving. You're right about that. Really? See, I'm gonna go online and see if I can see them dumpster diving. I didn't know it was going on so heavily. Like I said, here in New Jersey, I really don't. I haven't seen that, and I've seen them panhandling, but I haven't seen the dumpster diving. I'm gonna have to go check that out. Man, I tell you, not far from me is this black man, and he lives out of his car. Even I never seen him dumpster diving. I see him in his car and everything. I haven't seen him even stoop that low. You don't even have to really do that. Like not far from me, and this man's been there for a few years. He's got a little car as a black man, and I think he's got a drug problem. And he stays close to the supermarket. And what he does, he goes in the back when they're about to dump things out. They're supposed to dump it, but some of the people at the store will just hand it to him like any food they're going to dump out. They just give it to him. And he's a homeless man and he's been back there for years. I said, okay, well, at least he's not even dumpster diving. He's just asking for food that they're getting ready to throw away. Yeah. And he's getting it. Yeah, I mean, they will this is why a lot of times when they pass out behind the wheel and when somebody shows up like an EMT, they'll still have the needle right there in their arm from, shooting up to heroin and they just pass out. My grandmother used to also, but she didn't do it for long. And here's why. Video file 99. my grandmother on my mom's side ended up getting her teaching license. And once she got that, she was no longer cleaning white people's homes. This is the reason why she wanted to get out of it. The white people that she was cleaning homes for, she said every time she went to her job, every now and then, the father's drawers would be in the girls' room. They had three girls that shared one room. And she said the father's underwear would be on the floor in the girls' room. And she said at first she thought it was odd. Then she started thinking about it and realized he was sleeping with his own daughters. And from that point on, she just wanted to leave. She didn't want anything to do with being there anymore. So what she said was, she told them that she had to leave the job because one of her parents was sick and she couldn't come there every day anymore, which was not true, but she just wanted to get out of there. But that's what she told me. She said every day when she started going to work, the father's drawers would be on the floor in the daughter's room. And he had three girls sleeping in one room. And she was like, she didn't want nothing to do with that. And said the wife seemed like she was totally unfazed by it, almost like she knew, but she didn't say anything about it. Thank you, Silence. Yeah, it's disgusting. But see, they don't think it's, you got to think about it. Every time they rape, they get away with it. There's always some judge that let white males go. They don't think it's serious. They think, oh, well, it's just sex. But they don't care about the psychological damage that it does to the child. They don't care. That's why they love those jobs as missionaries going over to places like Africa, because they go there to molest the kids. They don't care about helping the black population. They care about helping themselves. Yes, I heard about the donkey thing. Yes, that's disgusting. I heard about that. He went over there and was having sex with a damn donkey. Well, that's why they got called the beast of the fields in the Bible, because they were literally just like the beast in the fields. I read an article, but I can't seem to find it. It said 90% of white women have slept with a dog at least once. 90%. So when you're swirling with them, guess what? Your woman been a big major chance your white woman been with a dog, slept with one at least once. That's because they're not human, CJ. That's why they like it. Right. Yes. Yeah, he'll just rape it. That's true. Yeah, I heard about that. I don't see how the neighbors didn't go out there and try to kill his ass. Yeah, yeah. The men and the women. I don't know why they lust for these people. I Number one, I just don't find them that attractive. That's why they got to play their media propaganda to make you think they are so beautiful and attractive. But the reality is, the average one that you run into out in public is not really attractive at all. you you ever notice that? I did. I noticed that early on when I was a kid. They would always have this blonde, bleach blonde woman on TV, but when you went out in public, you would just see these fat, sloppery ones walking around, and they didn't look so beautiful to me. Yeah, it's pretty sick what they do to those dogs too, the Donna. And I showed it. I showed one some of the pictures on one of my hangout. What they do is they bound and gag the dog with duct tape so the dog can't move, and then they have sex with the dog. It's pretty disgusting. Not attractive either white girls are. Yeah. Years ago, that used to bother me if I saw a halfway attractive black man with some fat, slobbery white woman. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me?" But now I don't even pay attention to it. I just go on about my business. Yeah, they always have. I love haters. They always have. Even back during slavery and Reconstruction, they would always sneak and come around the black men. They did it even back then. I remember my grandmother and her friends would be sitting around talking about that when I was a child. They always threw themselves at the black men, and they would witness it down there in the South. They had a saying down there too. It was segregated by day, integrated by night, because so many of them would sneak into the black neighborhoods at night to be around the black folks. But they had a saying like that: segregated by day, integrated by night. And plus, they come around black men they're attracted to. And a lot of times they're trying to see where your mind is. Are you a Martin Luther King, love everybody black guy? Or are you a Malcolm X militant type of black man? They got to fill you out first. Oh, there's a video out there on YouTube, Lala, of one grinding on a fire hydrant. A white woman. She was high or drunk, and she was grinding on a fire hydrant. And I don't know if the video is still out on YouTube, but I must have saw that video about a year ago. You're right, one true self, leave them alone. And it is way they don't do nothing but bring a ton of drama to you. Yeah, you remember that article? It was disgusting. Yeah, she was grinding on a fire hydrant out in public in broad daylight. Yeah, I saw the black lady. I saw that video on, I think Tareen Rain did it on the dark-skinned little black girl that was teased so badly in school. I think it was her sister that pulled her out and homeschooled her. She was beautiful. Oh my God, she was gorgeous. Oh, I'm not surprised about that cap. That they're grinding on stuffed animals. I guess that's the closest thing to a real animal for them. You know what, Lala, I don't let them touch me either. There's been plenty of times when even white men and women will extend their hand to shake my hand. I won't shake their hand. I don't want to touch them at all. Yeah, I saw that video on I think Phil the Advice Show had that video, and so did Tareen Rain, where the black guys disarmed a white guy. They apparently they had some kind of argument with them, and then J Dog 88, and then he got out of his truck with an AK-47. They did a better job in disarming that guy than the cops do. The cops act like they're scared of an unarmed black man and got to kill him. And here, these two young guys who were not cops at all were able to disarm this white guy with an AK-47. What does that tell you right there? But yeah, he intended on shooting those guys. You don't come out of your truck with no AK and you weren't going to kill nobody. He just was not expecting them to fight him as hard as they did. He was not expecting him. That's why he was whining and carrying on and crying on the ground like a little sissy. Why you wipe your hand? I won't even move my hand. Sometimes they'll extend their hand to me. I won't move my hand. I don't want to shake their hand. Hi, Lou, 1982. Oh, they do that all the time. They do that all the time. They'll take a poop in public. They do that all the time. They do it all the time. Well, yeah, I mean, I did the video, Simone, yesterday, and it said married white males pay for sex more than any other man on this planet. So it's not surprising. Yeah, well, I'm glad those two brothers didn't get shot because that's if they didn't fight him as hard as they did, Mickey Bricks, they could have really end up getting hurt or even dying if he was able to pull the trigger on that AK, but they didn't give him a chance to do it. They really fought him hard. Well, see, one true self, that's why they would not finance any of business. That's why if you go to the bank right now with an idea and you want to finance a business, they'll come up with every lame excuse, even if you have good credit, not to give you a business loan. That was done by design so that we would never have our own businesses, because in the past, every time Black people had businesses, they always excelled in business. Always. We always did exceptionally well in business. So they rigged the system up where we can't get loans, but some stranger from overseas that can barely speak English can walk in the bank and get a loan before you. But every time we do, we have a reputation for doing exceptionally well in business that they don't want you to know about, but it's all in the history. I did a video on a man that had 437 acres of land in South Carolina. He was a multi-millionaire during Reconstruction in the South. Black man, multi-millionaire. He had 437 acres of land that he farmed on and sold his vegetables and everything and became a multi-millionaire. So, yes, our people did exceptionally well in business, and they know it. This is why they won't give you a business loan even to this day, because they know what you're capable of doing. Yeah, they got animal brothels, especially over in Europe. They do have those. So don't believe them when they try to tell you, "Oh, Black people can't run businesses." It's bullshit. We got already got a history of doing it. Remember, it was during the Depression when Black Wall Street was going strong and they were eating dirt sandwiches. That's why they got pissed off and burnt Black Wall Street down. In fact, they were complaining after the war. They would come home after the war. Black people were living in mansions and they were living in shacks. Yeah, they have them in Europe, animal brothels. Yeah, well, racism. Gee, racism over here, huh? Sure. Oh, come on. Don't be trying to act all brand new like you don't know what racism is when white people were the ones that created it in the first place. Don't come over here with that crap. Animal pimps. I don't know about that. They've had them over there in Europe for a long time. It's really nothing new. Oh, well, they'll be marrying dogs over here too, Miss Candace. Just give it some time. They'll be marrying animals over here too. I love me some Malcolm X. I still watch some of his old footage every now and then. So one brother I could always relate to when he would talk, man, he never held back the truth. He always spoke the truth. Love Malcolm X. He also said, if you want to see a white man flee, tell him about himself. No, no, don't let them come in here talking about some racism. Get out of here. They are the creators of racism. If they don't want it to exist, then they should not have created it in the first place. It all came from them. Don't I don't need no lecture about racism from the enemy. Give me a break. They are the last people that should be lecturing anyone on any issue as far as I'm concerned. I would watch a lot of his stuff on TV, when my mom would have it on and I would be listening to him. And even at a young age, I could relate to Malcolm X. No, they don't do anything for humanity. And if they were going to answer that question, they would answer it with lies. They- that's how you would get your answer. Well, MW, we can't be racist. I know they keep trying to push that black people are racist. We can't be racist. We can't stop them from doing anything economically. Okay. We're not in place to do that. So, no, they have a whole system against us. Black people do not have a whole racist system that stops them from doing anything. We can't be racist. We react to racism, but we are not racist. Yeah, but it doesn't work. Um, I love haters. Yeah, they use it as a reverse psychology, but it doesn't work because black people can't be racist. Like I said, we do not have a country that we built with a whole system that's against them. We do not have that in place. We are not racist. Okay, you name one system we got in place that stops them from doing anything. We don't. Never have. It's stupid, and you can tell it wasn't the brightest tool in the shed that came up with that. Yeah, but I mean, even that prejudice and bigoted, a lot of times we're just reacting to the racism that they are displaying towards us. But it's not we're not racist. Okay. Like I said, you show me what system that we have in place that stops them from doing anything. We don't. It doesn't exist. I mean, they can say it all they want. It's stupid. You know what it is? You know why they love to call us racist is because more and more black people are reacting to them than they ever did before. So, and they don't know how to handle it. That's why they came up with that "you're a racist" stuff, because they are not used to us reacting to them in such a strong way that we do today, more than ever before. So it's like a defense mechanism that they're using when they call you a racist. I mean, if they're so hell bent against racism, then they should have got rid of the system. Then I would believe that they were genuine and didn't care about racism existing anymore. But they haven't done that. It's been centuries. It's been centuries, and they still have the same system in place that keeps us down and keeps them elevated above everybody else. So they're not interested in getting rid of it. So no, I don't allow them to go back and forth with me talking about your races. I usually will shut them down real fast. And most of them don't even know what racism means, and that's what kills me. They created something, and then when you ask them the definition of it, they can't even tell you. Okay, they can't even tell you what it is. They think racism means you just don't like them, and that's not racism. Yeah, but you know what, Mickey Bricks, the ones the those of us that are woken up, they can't put us back to sleep, and I think that pisses them off more than anything. It's like nothing they do or say, once you're wide awake, will put you back into that docile state. And this is why they keep trying to shut down our voices on YouTube, because they're afraid, we're going to wake too many people up. So they got to figure out a way to shut you down so that you don't wake more up. And when, when they see people like us out here that are not brainwashed, the first thing that comes in their head, well, if you're like this, how many more are out here? How many more are thinking like you? They're not great. And deep down inside, they know it. They know they are none of the things that they told us they were. They're not. They can't live up to it. That's why you don't see any greatness in them, because all of the BS they told us, they can't even live up to it. Or they'll tell you they created everything, and then they will sit down and proceed to name things that were created by black people. So there's no greatness in them. Yeah, but you know what, Cap? Even the money and the guns are going to fail them in the last days. They got so many junkies now. I mean, Dawa Yisrael, when he said something real funny, he said, "When you have your next war," I'm not saying it exactly like him, but he said it to some type of effect, something like this. He said, "The next time you go to war, don't come for black people. Scoop up all them junkies you got and send them." I said, "I said that's exactly right." Yeah, they're not going to put their flaws out there. I mean, that's something that we have to know and understand. We can point it out, but they're not going to put their flaws in front of the world, although the world know they're full of crap. And many of these countries out here are getting sick of them. They recently put sanctions on Russia, and Russia's already come forward and said they're looking into what they can do to the United States. Remember, in the last days, it's going to get so bad between this country and the rest of the world, they are going to stop buying from America. That's coming. That's coming. They're going to get to the point where they will no longer buy one single good from America. And you know what else I think, the Black Lady of Chaos and Havoc, they don't want us to find out how small their numbers are in this country. They are so desperate to keep that information from us. That's why they keep padding the numbers with the foreigners, because they don't want us to know what their real number is. They are desperate for us never to find that out. Well, some of them are still buying from us. I didn't know that North Korea gets all of their soy from the United States. I just recently learned that. All of the soy they get in their country comes from the US. Yeah, that's what we need now, Dario. We need our own farms, black farms. Well, yeah, I mean, we keep we keep this country alive. I mean, it's like the sports and entertainment where black people dominate, that's what's keeping America alive. I mean, They're not doing anything to keep it alive. I mean, seriously, without us, there would be no America, plain and simple. We do. We do. They put so much junk in the food, it's not even funny. I was reading all the products that got pork in it because I don't eat pork. They got pork in everything from candy to all kinds of, I mean, you can't even buy anything on the market now that doesn't have pork in it, it seems like. Yeah, I agree with that, Dario. We do. We have to learn how to put us first. And it's almost like Black people are afraid to do that. They are afraid to put Black first. And I just don't understand for the life of me why that's so difficult for anyone to grasp. You would think after being around all this racism for centuries, we would want to separate and look after ourselves first more than anyone else, but that's not the case. Can't be competitive with a mule. You're right. You're right about that. Yeah, I make my own alkaline water. I hate haters. I don't even I haven't had tap water in years. Not in a very, very long time. Yeah, they put it in everything. Pork is in everything. Ice cream, candy, a lot of your cakes and I know one time I was in the supermarket because my son loves devil food cake. And he was like, "Can we get that cake right there?" And I looked at it. It looked great, but it had pork in it. It had pork in it, so I couldn't get it. Thank you, one true self. Thank you. But yeah, it had pork in it, so I could not get the cake for him. But there's a lot of, I mean, a lot of things with pork in it, things that you wouldn't even think would have pork. Yesterday I did spaghetti and meatballs, but luckily for me, there's a place around the corner from me that's Muslim, and they make their spaghetti sauce and they don't put any pork in it. So I usually get it from them because if you buy most spaghetti sauce on the market, it's got pork in it. Unfortunately, and I have said this before, um, no, MW, the cake had pudding in it. And pudding has gelatin, pudding has pork in it. Like if you were to get like chocolate or vanilla pudding, it has pork in it. And this cake was made with pudding. So I couldn't get it. And I felt bad because you're a parent, you want your kid to have something they like, but I could not get the cake because the cake was made with pudding, and pudding unfortunately has pork in it. Not all devil's food cake, a Lord Mall, but this particular one did. I mean, you can make cake from scratch that would not have pork in it, but it just this particular cake did have it. Not all devil's food cake does. Yeah, gelatin is pork. Yes. Yeah, you can also get One True Self non-fluoride toothpaste. But yeah, I mean, they did this on purpose, ladies and gentlemen, putting pork in everything. It was done, yeah, marshmallow, or you can get the kosher marshmallow that does not have the pork in it. But yes, unfortunately, marshmallows do have pork in it. It does. In fact, you know what? I love haters. Brought something up really, um, you brought something back to my mind. When I used to work with one of the black men that were married to white women and they were divorcing, do you know that was the one thing he said to me? She made pork all the time. He said they had pork at least 2, 3 times a week in the household when he was married to this white woman. He said we had ham all the time. We had bacon, we had pork chops. He said we had pork at least 3 times a week. Yeah, I brush with baking soda. Well, according to biblical prophecy, video file 99, things are going to get so bad that we will naturally separate from them. The groups will be separated. You know, I was reading about the eclipse coming. Isn't that next week, I think? The eclipse, and they're selling all these glasses, which we don't need black people, but they're selling all of these glasses so that people can look up at the eclipse. And you know, they're buying all these 3D glasses, I guess, online and everything for the eclipse. That's for them. That's why I was showing you the melanoma of the eye. They need stuff like that because remember, their eyeballs burn, they get melanoma in the eyeballs and everything. That's for them. Sunglasses and 3D glasses, that's what that was all created for them. Yeah, and you don't have to do anything for them. You know, once we all separate, and you don't have to do anything for them. Yeah, and you have to be careful because some lotions even have pork in it. See that, you know, you really, you know, everybody's got to do a good job in just reading about things, even skin products. There's a lot of skin products with pork in it as well. But like I said, this was done to us on purpose because they know we were never supposed to touch pork. Yeah, they do. They do put poison in everything. Do you know they flush so many drugs into the water system? If you get a good tester, all the water got drugs in it. Even when you drink the tap water or use it for cooking, all of the water in this country have drugs in it. Well, not natural. Like if you get organic cocoa butter, coconut oil, you don't have to worry about the pork. That's what I give and I normally sell. It's the extra virgin organic coconut oil. And you don't have to worry about any pork because it's 100% coconut oil. But if you're using cocoa butter, you've got to be careful because, yes, a lot of it has pork in it. You're rubbing pork on your skin. Yeah, hairbrushes, boar, made out of, yeah. You're absolutely right, the hairbrushes, or in many cases, pork. It's virtually in everything. All we can do is pray that it does not impact us. You know, the Most High knew these things were gonna happen. This is why, as long as you're not intentionally sitting down with a rack of ribs and eating it, then no, you're not gonna be in trouble if you unintentionally ate pork. It's gonna happen. It's virtually unavoidable because they put it in everything. Yeah. Yeah, I used, the coconut oil. I like the way it softens my skin and everything, so I do use that. Yeah, oil pulling is good. Mhm. A lot of people do that with either olive oil or even coconut oil. Well, I remember when I was growing up, um, and people would say, "Oh, yeah, save the bacon grease, fry your chicken in it, it makes your chicken taste good." People were doing that, and now I think back on it, I'm like, "Oh, no. Woo!" Yes. I'm not sure about Cetaphil. You might have to just read the ingredients in it. I never heard that one, but I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, and be careful even with baby wipes before you buy those. Just make sure, the material is stretchy, with a lot of the wipes because it has pork in it. And I forgot what towels, I think it's Bounty. It was said that Bounty has pork in it. Even the paper towels, some of the paper towels and toilet papers also have pork in it. That's why it's stretchy. Yeah, I like the chaga tea. In fact, I had some yesterday. I haven't had any today. I had some yesterday, though. It is strange what they put pork in, but, like I said, they did this to us on purpose. They knew that was one of the things we were not allowed to have, so they made sure they put it in everything. They think if they do stuff like that, they're keeping you far away from the Most High, that you won't have any connection with them because you're doing things that you weren't supposed to do. But there's a big difference between doing something deliberately and somebody sabotaging you and you're doing it. That's a big difference. Yeah. If you go online, like the stretchy, paper towels, the tissues, the toilet paper. Yeah, some of them have, if they are like stretchy in texture, they have pork in it. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's like I said, they put pork in everything, and it's been deliberate, and they know. Yeah, they love the hell out of pork. That's why you'll see these even restaurants. The whole restaurant is based on the pork that they sell. Have you heard of the mark of the beast? I recently heard about the employees at some company that were going to all be microchipped. I did hear about that. I wouldn't be an employee at that company no more. I'd be looking for more work. Yeah, pork the other white meat. I heard that crap too. Well, you know what? The thing is, the bottom line is everything they got is because of us and the slavery. And the money they still live on today came out of slavery. So for them to sit around talking about they didn't have nothing to do with anything is just laughable. You're still benefiting, you're still living a very preferential life because of that slavery. No, you don't get a pass. Are you kidding me? Mhm. Yeah, because a lot of the Pop Tarts are gel filled, because jelly is another thing that has gelatin in it. You can't have jelly, not unless it's preserves that you make yourself, and you didn't put any pork in it, then that's perfectly fine. Bacon milkshake? Oh, that just sounds hideous. Are you kidding me, Cap? Oh, the slave money went to the rich elite. CJ, you ever hear the term old money? Whenever you hear that term, that the family has old money, that means that money came from slavery. Your elite, all of your elites are the ones sitting on that slave money. And people like the Jews, that's where it is. Or you'll hear about certain Caucasian families that pass money down and homes down through the generation. That's all slave money. Yeah, and you don't wanna have a jelly donut at, Dunkin' Donuts because that's pork. Oh, a bacon flavored shake. Ugh. That just doesn't sound good. Well, our departure is going to be a lot different from the Exodus. Okay. Remember, when the Exodus happened, there were no planes or trains or anything like that, where we do have those things to get out of this country if we had to. So it's going to be very different from the Exodus. Well, see, that's why it's prophesized everything's going to be taken away from them at the end. Yeah, old money means that's their money came from slavery. That's what old money means. They're not going to call it slave money, but they call it old money. Yeah, you can make it as vegan as possible. Unfortunately, like I said, they always find a way to sneak that pork in one way or another. Wow. I'm just a pork drink. Ugh. But then again, I'm not surprised. Well, yeah, they got all of that money at our expense. Okay. Every dime of that money came from our slavery. This is why your Jews are rich today, because they're rich because they were the ones that financed the slave trade. They got rich off of us. All of their wealth came from us, all of it. But remember, in the last days, they're going to lose all of that wealth. All of it is going to be lost. Yeah, yeah, Sherry 65, they did. They stole our identity after we were enslaved. Prior to that, they were not even calling themselves Jews. Okay, they were not even calling themselves that. It wasn't until we were all the way into captivity, and that's when they ripped off our identity. Yeah, they got their money all through financing slavery. That's where their money came from. And as far as the Holocaust is concerned, there's a lot of people that believe they only created that situation so that they could get a land of their own. So they were willing to sacrifice their own people in order to get land. Right, but you know what, Lala, they get reparations every single year from the US for the Holocaust. And it didn't even happen here. And they get billions every single year because of the Holocaust, and they get it from the US. Not just the US, they get reparations from European countries. You know, when you add that all up, that's why they don't have to do nothing every day with their lives. Well, yeah, that they started the banks and started a lot of the markets in Germany, you know, food markets and things like that, clothing. But they started going overboard with the prices. That's why Hitler got upset, because there were people in Germany that were starving and couldn't feed themselves. And they had the prices so jacked up over there, nobody could afford the food. That's why they never want to tell you why Hitler was upset. They just tell you, remember the Holocaust. But they never tell you what kicked off the Holocaust in the first place. Well, yeah, the coons will fight you. The coons will, you know, unfortunately, I was listening to a conversation about reparations before, and these coons were on there talking about, well, the reparation shouldn't be money. I said, well, wait a minute. Wasn't it money for everybody else? But when it's black people, it can't be money. Get out of here. I don't want nobody that like that speaking for me. Well, the Jews don't even like the other whites. They don't even care that they're dying out. You notice they're dying from drugs and they're not even stepping up to help. They don't care about them. And that's what they don't get. The elite don't care about. How many of the elite did you see step forward to try to help these devils on drugs? They're not helping them. They don't care. They don't give a damn if they all die out. They don't care. Those are the ones they want to get rid of anyway, the low level ones that are useless. That's why they call them useless eaters. They don't care about them. But they're so busy hating on black people, they don't see the reality that they're living in, that nobody wants them around anymore. They served their purpose back in the day. We don't need races moving forward anymore. That's why they're going to let them die out. They're of no use. But they don't see this. They don't see that there's a whole system working against them and getting them out of here. You got China, you got Mexico, all poisoning their neighborhoods with drugs. You got the elite that's not helping them. You got a president that made all these promises to help, and they're not. He ain't helping them do nothing. And there's a lot of people that are cheering across this world that they're dying out, and they can't see beyond hating black people. You know, if it's not the craziest thing you ever seen in your life, nothing will show you that. But they cannot see that they are being poisoned with drugs on purpose. They can't see it. They have no ability to see that. All they see is black on black crime. You're 13% of the population and commit 50% of the crimes, which I showed you in the FBI statistics. We don't even commit 30% of the crimes, but you can't get them to see reality. So let them all die. Who cares? Let them go. I mean, anytime other people on this earth don't give a damn about you dropping dead, that should tell you something right there, but it tells them nothing. Tells them nothing. They will hate us down to their last dying breath, but have an inability to see that they are purposely being poisoned with drugs. And those drugs are not coming from the Black community. We are not flying it in here. We're not manufacturing it. We're not doing nothing. But the ones that are doing it to them, they're just completely blind to it. So let them be blind. Yeah, they all benefit, Simone. Every last one of them, even the ones that claim they didn't, they are. They all benefit from slavery. Every last one, whether they had a slave or not, they're still benefiting now. Don't aren't they enjoying their white privilege? Well, then they're benefiting. Well, yeah, I love haters. That's the thing. These dealers are lacing the drug with fentanyl on purpose. And then they do the drug and they're like, well, they accidentally overdosed. No, they meant to take your butt out. They don't care about you dying. And the biggest dealers are them. Right. That's where they got the term Confederate. They got it from the Bible. A lot of their terms they got straight out of the Bible. Yeah, we can't, as Black people, we can't be concerned about their die out. We just got to go on about our business and do what we have to do. The bottom line is, if they can't recognize the fact that they are being poisoned and inundated with drugs on purpose to get their asses out of here, that's their problem. That's their problem. They're so obsessed with Black people that they can't see nothing else. That's their problem. No, at the end of the day, they can't blame us. We did not provide the drugs. Their enemies, their other enemies are doing it. So that's on them. Yeah, I heard that. I heard they're also trying to stop Black American. I think that's coming out in Amazon. I believe Amazon is putting that out, Black American, and it's supposed to be a show about when Black people got their reparations. That's what the show is supposed to be about, and they're having a fit over that, by the way. You might see a lot of their demise too. It may not be your great grandchildren. They're going pretty fast. In fact, my prediction over the next 10 years is going to be really horrific for them because If you remember, their elderly is dying out simultaneously with the drug abusers. They're dying out simultaneously. So even over the next 10-year period, it's going to be very horrific for them. It's got to be. If you can't replace the people that are dying out, then you're pretty doomed. There's just no way around that. No, what we need to do with our next generation, Don, and is keep them as far away from white supremacy as possible. I think Black people need to stop making the mistake of sending our children to school to be taught by the enemy. If we're going to do anything for the next generation, that's the one thing we should be fighting against from day one. Finding way to school our own children and getting the children away from being indoctrinated into white supremacy altogether. That's the best thing we can do for the next generation. Not let them be part of the system. Right. I believe that. I think the next generation, that's what we should do. We should separate them from day one and not send these children that are now 1 and 2 years old, not send them into the school system, public school system at all, and find a way to school them, um, either with Black teachers or homeschool them. They should not be indoctrinated, this next generation, at all. I mean, if we want to do anything for our kids, that's the thing to do. Is not let the enemy get a hold of our children. Period. And then they're not indoctrinated into white supremacy and they're not going to comply with it, plain and simple, because they were never exposed to it in the first place. But it's going so fast. Like I said, in the next 10 years, we're going to be stepping out in the public and hardly seeing them anywhere. They'll still be there, but they're going to be so few. It's going to be very noticeable by then in the next 10 years. Yeah, but that's what I think is critical for the next generation, for us to not let them get a hold of our children anymore. We cut it off right now. I mean, when you open up the Bible, nobody sent their kids to school. It was up to each family to educate their own children. And that's what happened back in biblical times. The school concept came from them. Okay. We never, ever carted our kids off for somebody else to teach. We always did that ourselves. You had 10 kids, you educated your 10 kids. That's how it was. You did that yourself. School is a concept that came from them because they were so stupid and didn't know how to do anything. So the schools were created for them. I say we let them have their schools back and their education system, and we step away from it. And that's how we protect our children. And our kids don't have to worry about going to school and dealing with the racism. Yeah, I heard about that, Daryl. They created this thing that the South won the Civil War and slavery went on. That's why there's another series I think Amazon's putting out called Black American. It's supposed to be about when blacks get their reparations finally, and the whole show is supposed whole series is supposed to be about blacks after they got their reparations. So it'll be interesting. It seems like it's kind of crazy what's going on out in the media with the shows now. Actually, the Gullah War was the race war. The Gullah War was the race war. It's already happened, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. If you read the Gullah Wars, it was our people against them. And that race war already happened. And we won. Our people won. Yeah, I heard about that, CK. I heard they were the creators of they won the Civil War. It's nothing but mere fantasy, okay? Don't don't put much into it, ladies and gentlemen. We were only supposed to serve one captivity in Babylon. It did not say anything about multiple captivities. It's not going to happen. It's just fantasy. Nothing but fantasy. Yeah, they did that a lot to black children, Sherry. That's why I don't believe we should be carting them off. And plus, when I was in school, I used to see them, especially white female teachers, mistreat a lot of the black males, and they were really nasty and belligerent. And I saw that. Now they would do it to black females too, but the black males always got it worse. Yeah, they always like to put black children in special ed, and in many cases, you don't even belong there. Yeah, usually the white female teachers. That's because most of them are, and they don't even like the black students. And I used to always get those vibes from them, like they didn't even like us. And I understood, as time went on, I knew they were there just to sabotage us. They didn't care about us, and still don't. No, we're not going to be slaves forever. We're going to be out of this. We're not going to be slaves forever. I mean, I understand, it's been so long. It has. It's been centuries. It's been a long, long time since we've been in this oppression, but no, it is not going to last forever. This is why at least the Most High is allowing us to see their die out. They're not going to be able to turn it around. We are at the end, ladies and gentlemen. Their 6,000 years of ruling this earth is up. If the Most High don't kill them off and get them out of the way, there's not going to be an earth left. Okay, they got to die out. They got to go. But it's. I know it's irritating because we've been in this situation for so long, but it really is going fast. Yeah, I mean, there's no way you can survive if you're not replacing the population that's dying out. It's impossible. Yeah, no, we won't be in this state forever. Useless eaters, those are people that are just taking up space and not really doing anything. See, they were in their heyday back when we were slaves and going through Reconstruction, but now that we are in the age of technology, you don't need no racists around anymore. You don't need them. I know they're convincing themselves they created everything, but they really didn't, you know, and you just don't need slave overseer population anymore. They're of no use. Our captivity is coming to an end. If our captivity come to an end, what do you need the oppressors for? They're not necessary anymore. And bye bye hunky. Yeah. I mean, come on. If we're getting out of captivity soon, what do you need oppressors for? They're of no use. And remember the article that came out that talked about the population decline. It said it was them and only them. It was not them and Black people and Latinos. It was just them, period, that was experiencing the decline. It was no other group. And like I said, give it another 10 years. I'm telling you, it's going to be very different out here in just another 10 years. Yeah, yeah, things have changed fast in South Africa. Yeah, I saw that too. They are living, they're living just like the Black people used to live there. They still are in many cases, but yeah, they are living in dumps now. We still got a lot to go through, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just them dying out. The wars did not happen yet. We got to go through World War III, and that has not, we haven't gone through that yet. So there's a lot of things that have to happen before we're really out of this thing. And believe me, with Trump running things, we'll get there real soon. We'll get there real soon because that man is reckless. Yeah, well, they're going to kill us. They're going to take a few of us out along the way because they don't want us to survive, and they don't survive. So yeah, it's going to be some of our people taken out at the end, but just know we are at the end of this hellhole that we're in. I mean, look, I tell you what, if there is a Bible prophecy, we are definitely looking at it now. Look at the president and vice president's name, Trumpets, Trumpets, Trumpet. Like in the Bible, it talks about the trumpets in Revelation, and now you got Trump and a Pence, trumpets. No, damn near sounds like trumpet, don't it? Yeah, it's going to be all right for us in the end. And yeah, I mean, you see how reckless Trump is, and he really don't understand what he's doing. You can just tell by the way he talked. The man is just getting up every day of his life winging it, and you can tell he does not understand anything at all. Well, we don't know how long they will exist, but they are definitely dying out. Between I think it was 2016 and 2017, their population only grew by 5,000 people. That was it. Where everybody else grew by the millions. We grew by a million, and other races did too. They grew by 5,000 and that was it. You cannot have hundreds of thousands of people dying every year and then all you produce was 5,000. You're not going to be able to keep your group going. It's impossible. And see, this is why somebody like Trump got into office in the first place. They think he's going to help their situation. And as you can see, the way he's running the presidency, he has no way of doing that. He can't do it because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's not a savior to anybody, not even himself. He can't save them. Yeah, the 5,000. In fact, the stories came out. I did a video on it, and the articles came out talking about that, how they only grew by 5,000 people in 1 year. There's just no way you can maintain a population and you have several hundred thousand dying every year, and then you just replace it with 5,000 people. You have no way of surviving. No, we're not lazy. Actually, they're lazy. They were the ones that needed the slaves. Okay, they're the lazy ones. They can't outperform us, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why they had to come up with skin color to give themselves an advantage over us because they don't have any physical advantage over us. That's why they had to use their skin, which is stupid because their skin is the worst on the whole earth. Their skin does things out in the sun that our skin don't do. How is that superior? It's not. But they got to run that scam on the entire world because they own the media. Yeah, that's all they produced. 5,000. That was it. You can't survive as a race and that low number is being reproduced every year. Only 5,000. That was it. That's all they were able to produce in a year. There's no way you're going to have an existence on this planet and that's all you were able to produce. That's why they're now getting meaner and meaner and meaner towards everybody. But ultimately, that's not going to do them any good either. Getting meaner towards everybody because you're dying out, what is that really going to do for you? It's still not going to raise your population. So if they can't do better than that, it's pretty much over for them. Yeah, yeah, civil rights, that was the worst thing that we did. I mean, it literally destroyed the Black community. Yeah, I mean, they burn whether they have on the sunscreen or not. It's really kinda counterproductive for them to even put it on, like I said, they would have been better off just staying in the caves. Yeah, there's places, Black Power United, there's places over in Europe that's already in the negative, and that's why a lot of Europe is now being invaded by the Arabs and the Africans are now invading big time because they can easily outnumber and reproduce where the Europeans can no longer reproduce. This is worldwide. This is a worldwide phenomena that's happening to them. Even in Australia, they're not producing worth shit in Australia. No, right, but that still equals 5,000. That's it. If you have hundreds of thousand and you minus that from the amount of births and all you got was 5,000 people, you're not going to be here very long. They're not going to be here very long. And also remember, Brian, the baby boomers right now that are the elderly, this is their last biggest population within their group. And those people are elderly right now. So if you got the people dying from drugs and now your biggest population within your group, the elderly are dying out, due to old age and sickness and everything they get, you're pretty much doomed. The elderly that you're looking at right now, this is their last biggest population. And they are the baby boomers. They're the ones that were called the baby boomers. But the generations after that are much, much smaller. So when all of these elderly die out, their group is not going to be big at all. They're really not big now, but it's really doomed once the elders die out. No, they only gained 5,000 after you minused out the births from the deaths. Okay. So that's all they gained as far as population growth in 1 year. Well, the drugs is payback for sabotaging us with the crack epidemic. What did they really think? They were going to get away? They were going to get away with it and be unfazed or untouched by it? Of course, now they're getting slammed, and it's far worse than the crack epidemic. Yeah, that you'll see the pregnant women, but the problem is when at the end, when they start calculating how many people were born and how many died, they have no gains. Their gains are just 5,000. That's it. That's pretty severe. And like I said, if that's all they're going to gain in 1 year, they're not going to be here very long. And you got, like I said, they're elder baby boomers that are dying out right now. And they're all of the other generations after that are way smaller than the baby boomers. Oh yeah, they're paying a lot of surrogates to give birth. That's what they're doing, but it's not going to work. Their time is up. None of the things that they're trying to do is going to work. It is really the end for them. This is it. This is the end. It doesn't matter what fertility clinics they go to, what surrogates they get, where they run in the world to do this and that. It doesn't matter. It is really seriously over. Well, thank you. Welcome. Um, I've seen some, but it's been a long, long time since I've seen a lot of pregnant white women. I haven't seen a lot. In fact, Cherry 65, sometimes I don't even see them walking around with, you remember how years ago you would see parents walking around with a bunch of little children, and you, because even when I would used to be in the store with my son, little children, I don't even see that as much anymore. Where you'll go in the store, you might see a couple and they may have some young kids, but I remember when I was growing up, I saw that everywhere. I would see black couples with little kids, white couples with little kids. You saw it everywhere. Now I can walk in the store right now and I don't see very many of of them walking even with small toddlers anymore. Not like I did years ago. Yeah, they're paying them. See, they're trying to do everything they can, T Waters, to raise their population. I heard about that. They're paying the European women to have children. It's still not working. And that tells you right there it's genetics. It's genetics, but they'll tell you it's all these other things. Oh, it's despair, it's this, it's the drugs, it's that. No, it's genetics. If you see this happening worldwide, it's genetic. Yeah. Yeah, I see that a lot more too. I see a lot of them with biracial children. No, they're not, Lord Mall. They're not. I'm just telling you. When I go out, I don't see very many of them pregnant. And I don't see a lot of them walking around with babies anymore like I did years ago. Before, you would go into a store, you would see all the strollers and the little kids, and you would see parents in there with the little toddlers or newborns and stuff. You don't see that nowhere near as much as you did years ago. Because I was even telling my son that when we went to the local Walmart one day, and the few we saw in there, not one of them had babies. They all had teenagers, maybe a couple of teen or preteen children, but I didn't see hardly any toddlers or babies in the store, where that would have been unheard of even 10, 15 years ago, for you to go out and not see somebody in there, even them with a stroller or some type of baby, or now it's almost rare to see it. Yeah, Lord Mall, their elders right now is their last biggest population. Once they die out, once this elderly population die out, all the other groups will outnumber them. All other groups in this country already do, right now, but they will really be outnumbered once the elders die off. This is it. This is their last. These people that you're looking at that are in their 60s and 70s and even in their upper 50s, those are your baby boomers, and they're on their way out. So It really won't be hardly any of them left after this big group die off. And they know it. That's why they're getting scared. They're panicking. And now they're acting crazy, but they don't realize that's really counterproductive. It's not going to do them any good going off on everybody else because we can reproduce and they can't. What is that supposed to really do at the end of the day? What is it going to do? Yeah, and it's going to be a lot of silence. You bring up a good point. It's going to be, as time goes on, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a lot of available jobs across America that they will not be able to fill. They're not going to be able to do all these jobs with immigrants. There's going to be a lot of slots open that they simply will not be able to fill because it is just too many junkies in this country now. Now, they're trying to give most of these jobs to foreigners, but it's going to get to the point where they won't even be able to do that. And they're going to have to reach out to the Black community and the Latinos a lot more if they want to keep their businesses going. And many of them are going to do that because they're not going to let their business go under. There's only so much resisting they can do. No, I mean, no, I haven't heard of anybody having a lot of problems. Maybe you can log out and log back in. Well, one true self, you know what? John McCain's wife did that years ago. Cindy McCain, she was working for a foundation, um, and she had access to the drugs, and that's how she became hooked on opioids. She was sneaking and taking the drugs right there for her foundation and stealing the drugs. I mean, technically her butt should have went to jail, but she, because she's some rich white woman, she didn't have to go to jail. Well, yeah, how do you give I love haters. How do you give preferential treatment when you don't have enough people to even fill the jobs? There's not enough white people to fill these jobs anymore. Not like it used to be. You can't use the baby boomers, the ones that are elderly, they're too old. And this younger generation, they're junkies. They're drug addicts. So you can't really do a lot of bringing them in. So that's why I'm saying then they're trying to do the immigrants, but eventually that's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough immigrants to fill all of the jobs around the country. So they're going to have to do things that they never thought they would have to do before. And don't be surprised if a lot of these jobs start turning more and more people of color because they're not going to have a choice. Yeah, they got a complex. They always had one, though. Their entire existence, it depends on them feeling like they're better than us, which they're not. I'm still waiting to see what they do that's supposed to be better than us. I haven't seen it yet. I mean, with their boomers dying, you're gonna see a lot more funerals than you will births. You're gonna see they're gonna be facing a lot of funerals. Well, there's only like I said, it's only so many immigrants they're going to be able to fill these jobs with. It's just not going to be possible. And you got all these companies in this country that are whining and complaining that they can't find workers that are not high on drugs. You would figure these dummies would get themselves clean before they go apply for a job, but they don't give a damn. They so far gone on the drugs, they don't even care. Oh yeah, might be worth it to invest in funeral services around the country. You might become rich. Yeah, but as they start dying out and it's not going to be a population to replace them, they're not going to have all the power that you see them with now. Even that's going to fade away. They only have it for the moment. That's it. But as their population starts shrinking, there's no way they're going to be able to hang on to everything like they are now. It's no way. Not won't be possible. This is why the Europeans are now crying when you watch their video of being invaded by the Arabs and the Africans. You see them crying their eyes out because they know they can't keep control over everything anymore. My great grandmother on my dad's side was a midwife. In fact, all of the elders down in Osceola, Irwin County, Georgia, she delivered almost all of the elders that are there now. That are still alive. But yeah, that's what she did. She was a midwife. She was one of two women in the town that were a midwife. Well, didn't they put them through apartheid? Well, guess they're going to have to do a better job in protecting themselves, aren't they? But they're having a heroin problem in South Africa too. An opioid and heroin problem is in South Africa as well. Australia, South Africa, it's in Canada, the UK, all across Europe and here. Yeah, my great grandmother said she didn't want to clean anybody's house, so she became a midwife instead. She said she didn't want that kind of backbreaking work, working for some white family. She didn't want to do that crap. So she became a midwife. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, this epidemic is not going to end. It's not going to end. because even if the doctors stop writing the scripts, you still haven't done anything about the street drug. So, and we know the street drug will always be there. Yeah, well, unfortunately, anywhere where there is a big white population now in the world, no matter where they are, it's a drug problem there. It's real severe drug problem. And that's just the way it is. You know, unfortunately, that's the way it is. In fact, I was looking when I was looking through the articles this morning, it said the cocaine addicts over in the UK are dying left and right. That's because they're now lacing the cocaine with fentanyl, and they snort it and they end up dying. And that's been a big problem over in the UK now. Okay. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of TV either. A lot of the things that I do find out just happens to be online. I don't get heavily into the TV shows or even the news or anything like that anymore, and I don't miss it either. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I just want to thank you all for coming. It's been a pleasure. And, and everybody that has over the last day or so that made donations towards my fundraiser for the Black Spot, thank you. I'm going to probably be reaching out to most of you tomorrow, and I just need you to respond to me on which product you want me to mail out to you, and I'll get those products out this week. Um, and all of you, all of you that have become my patrons and donated to GoFundMe, you will continue to get my videos and Patreon, and also for the GoFundMe people, I will be emailing you my videos so you won't miss anything. So I want to thank you. You guys are great. And please enjoy the rest of your day. Peace, family.